Hi there, my name is Marco, and I wanted to show how to build a flexible landing page with Metabox IO and bricks. We can take a look to the wireframe. Today we want to find a solution to have a more flexible approach for landing pages. So maybe we want to have this CTA at the bottom and this section below the hero. So the client or we want to decide this from page to page and not for all landing pages altogether and have a very static template. How can we do this with flexible Metabox fields and bricks? In the past I can't solve this problem, but now with the latest update of Metabox and bricks version 1.6 it's possible. So let me show you how I do this. Here you can see the plugins I've installed. Automatic CSS, Metabox Free, and the Metabox all-in-one plugin, and then Codebox as snippet tool for code. Maybe we want to use it, maybe not. We will see. So then there is this empty page. For now we want to go to Metabox, custom fields, and create our field groups where we can add the content needed. So first I want this to call landing page. Then we have to add a group. I want to just call this sections or landing page sections. This must be clonable and sortable. Inside here we add another group, or first we want to add a select field. The select field is called Section Template. And as choices we add our hero. I use the space, column, space, and then readable name, hero section. Then the second option is to use the text and image. I want to call it so text and image section. And the third is the CTA. Okay, that's it for this field. Now the next field is again a group, which is our first section. This is, call it hero. Now there is the very important part. This must be clonable, and the number of clones must be more than one. So either you leave this field empty or you choose a number greater than 1. That's very important, because if you just select 1 here, then it will not work. So clonable, and inside of this field is the hero, so we want to have a text for the heading and text for or let's say text area. So let's say description. It's not the best naming, so I'll leave it as it is. So for now we have our section template where we can select hero, text, image, or CTA. We use this hero value here and go to hero, advanced, conditional logic, and now we go to section template and say this should be shown only if we have selected hero from our select field. Okay. Here in the settings of our field group, we want to show this on, say, page only. I will publish this. Now let's take a look to our page, flexible landing page with Metabox. Here we have our field set. If I choose another template, section template, then the next group is empty because we have added this condition. Also here, so only if we choose hero section, then heading can be entered and description can be entered. So this is good, and our section is draggable, so we can sort if we have more than one. Okay, that's good. So let's go back to custom fields, landing page sections. We want to have another group here, and let's take a look here to our values, text underline image. So this is condition section template text underline image. We want to show this group only if this is used or selected in our section template select box. Back to general settings, we want to name this text and image. This is clonable, very important. Do we have done this here and there? Yes. Okay, text and hero is clonable. I just make the max number of clones to 2. Okay, advanced is done. Then we want to add another group, and this will be our CTA. Clonable. Max number 2. But here we want to have this CTA value as a condition. Okay, that's it for now. Let's go back and test if this works as expected. We can choose the hero section, we can choose text and image section, we can choose call to action section. Okay, now we have to add our fields to these groups. Okay, text and image is not clonable, maybe. Text and image, clonable, max number have to be more than 1. So that was the missing button that I've seen in the page. So now let's check one more time. I do it for you because you have to understand what's going on here. We have this add more button. This shows us that this hero section here, field group, is clonable. That's important. Let's check text and image section. Also here we have the add more button and call to action. Also here we have the add more button. So they all 3 are clonable. That's important. Now we want to add more fields to them. Okay. So hero, we have heading and description. That's enough. We use as the background image, we use the featured image. Text and image, we want to have an headline. We want to have an specific field, and we want to have an image. Ooh. image advanced, I think. Okay. Max number of files 1. And this is our headline. Okay. Now let's close this. Go to call to action group, and here we want to have again an image. And we want to have an text. And we want to have a button. What should we take? Text again for the button description or text, and URL for the target of the button. Maybe that's a good idea, maybe not. It'd have to be a full URL in this case. We could instead use posts, so we can just select one of the posts and pages that exist in our WordPress installation. So that's okay. Button target, I want to name this, and yeah, that's okay. Our button text, and this will be our CTA text. As always, naming. Max number of files 1. Okay. Let's drag the image to the bottom. I think that's enough for now. Let's double check here our field group. We can have an hero section. We can have text image. Okay. And we can add images here. Okay, maybe I want to change the image type, the field type here for a normal image. I think that's more convenient. Sorry, here, go to image. We want to use just image here. Okay. And same for call to action. Let's go back and check again. Always check your steps one after another, because debugging is much more easier if you've not changed too much. Now for the last thing here on our fields. For now we want to have this Visivik editor a little bit configured. So let's do this. No, that's not the right thing. Options, here it is, editor options. Now you can say we don't want to have this media button, and text area rows, maybe 4, maybe enough. And that's it. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm fiddling too much here. It's not that important for the sake of this tutorial, but anyway. Okay, now we can't add an image here to the WYSIWYG. Yeah, I think that's better. And we have these upload button here. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Sorry about that. It's always the same with Metabox image fields. It's very, yeah, let's take a single image here. And also for this single image, I think that's what we want. Okay, now we go to the page and we want to add our content. So I want to have a little description, so let's take a bit content, not doing this, and add another hero group. This button is just because it's clonable, but we never want to use this, so it's a good idea to remove this via CSS. We can do this in the next step, but let's just add our text and image. Again, a little bit of dummy text here. Let's take a bit more with a bit of formatting, because we want to check if this is working as expected. So let's take some images. I like Berlin a lot, so maybe we want to use images from Berlin. Okay, then call to action is the next. And do we want to buy now? Oh, I think we want to have a headline, and we want to have a longer text, so one field is missing here. Okay, button text. Let's take this as a button text, and you will not miss. Okay, and here we can just use one of our existing pages and or posts. For now, we can just use the hello world. It's okay. We have to configure this field that way that it can choose from posts and pages, or just pages. In this case, it's default just posts. For now, it's okay. We want to use another Berlin image. Okay, now we have our hero, we have our section, and we have our call to action. That's very good. For now, let's save this. And as expected on the front end, it's empty because we don't have anything done with bricks, which is responsible for the rendering here. But let's say we want to test a drag and drop. Okay, that's working also. Okay, let's just go to this layout, hero, text and image, call to action. Okay, that's it for now. Let's just change that we can use pages here instead of posts, or both. Know what? It's not important for tutorials, so to save us some time, I just leave it as is. Okay, now the fun part. First, we want to have an featured image here, because this should be used in our hero. Okay, now the fun part really starts. Edit with breaks, and let's just go one step back, because we want to use it on other landing pages too. So the better way to do it is to create a real template. Landing page, and this is for single, and publish. Okay, now when do we want to use this condition? This template should be used only on individuals, so we want to use it on the flexible landing page. For now, I just use the individual, use our landing page we have. We can add other landing pages as well, or we could use taxonomy for selecting our template. Anyway, that's an easy way to do it for now. Okay, now let's add a wrapper, because we have to loop through our field groups. So I just use a div and call it group loop. So this will be a query, and it will be our Metabox group landing page sections, which is, as we can remember, maybe, let's go to our structure here. Landing page sections is a group, and exactly this is what we selected here. Okay, that's all. Let's add a text for no results, no sections, add sections to the page as a better text, maybe. Okay, then that's enough for now. This is looping through. This is looping over our outer group. So next, we want to add our template for the hero, which I've created already. I can just insert it here. Nope. I just want to use the hero. This is the right one. Okay, and this must be moved inside of the group loop. Oh, what a nice name. The section here is the hero. Okay, so now the next thing is we must be looping over our hero, because this is clonable, and it has to be clonable. So we have to loop over the hero group. That's important, and we have to do it. So we can. Okay, here is a problem. We cannot use sections for looping. It's not available in Bricks here, as you can see. If I go to the container, I can use a query loop for it, but it's not possible for the section itself. But that's not a problem, because the section will have a condition. If the section template is chosen for the hero, because only then we want to spit out this section. Let's do this now. We go to dynamic data. Here we go to section template, which is our field section template, as you may remember. And here the value we want to take is hero. We want to test if the value of this field in this loop is hero. Okay, so here we have to add a column and type value, because we want to select the value, not the label from the select field. We want to have the value. This is hero in this case. and it must be hero in this case, because otherwise we won't see this hero section. And the condition is set. Now you can see this here. Here's a loop, here is a condition. Okay, now we can't do a condition and a loop at the same element. A loop is not possible anywhere here in a section from Bricks, so we have to find another way to do it here. I think maybe we just can move our image wrapper inside. Our container. Let's take a look. Okay, then it's a problem with the overlay. Okay, another trick is just add a div inside of the section and move all things inside it. It's not optimal from the perspective of the HTML structure, but we have to have an element which we can use to loop, and I think that maybe help doing it this way. Why is my image wrapper now? Okay, let's just go to the container, layout, z index 3. It's not enough. Maybe it's just another thing. We can go to the template settings and populate content, and now we can choose our landing page. What's this? A single post, and then flexible landing page, apply. Okay, now as soon as we start to use dynamic data, we should see our image. Oh, that's perfect. Go to the heading. Here we use the dynamic data from our looped Metabox group. So this is hero. I just type it here and we can take the heading. And the next will be the text content. Also I type just hero and we just use the description of it. And let's change this to a p tag. This should work. Okay. So you can see if I preview the template, because we've set it to use the landing page as a example content, our image is rendered as a background image and the overlay is seen, but our content of the hero is hidden because there is a problem with the Z index, I think. Okay. Okay. Now it's working. Maybe we could remove this. Okay. So now it should work as we want it to work. Okay, looks good. That's our hero. Now let's check the page. I just changed the tab to have the editor open where we are working on our template, and now we want to view the actual landing page. The template is used, but we do not have content that we can see. Why is that? What's going on here? So let's double check. Now I elaborated a lot about the looping over our contents and so on, but I just didn't do it. So this div I've added extra because we have to loop over our group, and I do not do it. So let's do it now. Oops, not the condition, but the query loop. Here we want to choose the hero. So that's it. And now, as you can see, because we have changed the settings to in Bricks that it should render the dynamic fields, we can see them in the builder already. If you did not change these settings in Bricks, then you will always see the placeholders. So now we can just double check if this works. Let's go and save, go back here. Now we have on our actual landing page, we have the content rendered out. It's just because I forgot to add the query loop here, so we can't see the actual content, but now it's working, and we can go to the image wrapper and display it and add an text white again. Okay, that's our hero on the actual landing page. And if we change the heading and go take a look in the front end, it's there. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to do, and it's now the next step to add another section, and the next one was 2-column text and image. So again, because we need to loop over our group, or our groups I should say, it's important to move this section inside of our group loop. This is text and image. Always name the things because it's important to find them later if you want to change something. And again, here is our condition. Dynamic data. Section template. And don't forget to add the column and value here. It should be, let's take a look, custom fields, text underline image. Okay. Only if this condition is met, then we want to output this section here. Okay. The next is the looping. This can be done in the container here. Query loop over or text and image group. As you can remember, it's this one, text and image, it's a group, it's clonable. And now we can go and make the values here. Text and image is the group name, and then we want to use the headline. Okay, now the next is or text and image text, and the next one is nope, I have to remove the image and use dynamic data for it. And this is text and image. Let's check this. Let's take a square image size or cover. Okay. Now that's a little bit confusing, that the template is rendered again below. That's also because I've added these setting for rendering dynamic data inside of the builder, I think, because this is not selectable here. It's always our group here. Don't know why this is, because in the hero you see it's rendered inside here, but our second section is rendered below. So that's a little bit confusing. If you don't know how to handle this, or if it's too confusing for you, just go back to Bricks settings and disable the dynamic rendering on the canvas, and I think that should solve it. Landing page, edit with bricks. Nope, doesn't. Right, sorry about that, but it's not my fault. Okay, back to the track. Group loop and hero and text and image is done. We just have to take a look to our landing page if it's working as expected. Yes, it is. Now back in the builder, we want to add the last thing. It's the CTA. Again, rename the section and move it inside the group loop. Then add the condition. It should be shown only if the field section template has the value CTA. Oops, we just want only one. So condition dynamic data again. This is template section. It must be CTA. Only then we want to render the section. Okay, then container and div, it's again the same situation where we have to add a wrapper to this. Again, because we have to loop over the data, and let's just move our content inside. Let's rename this thing to loop wrapper, so we can remember later on why we have added this. So this also loop wrapper. Okay, back to the CTA. We have our condition. Now we have to add our loop to the loop wrapper div. Okay, let's select our call to action group, and now we can just go ahead and CTA text. Okay, I forgot to add the field for the heading. So we have to do that in the next step, but for now let's add the fields which are existing. CTA call to action. What is the button text? Button text call to action, and link type you have to choose external, and then we have the option to use dynamic data also, and call to action button target was the field name. Okay, that should work. Let's check it. Where is the call to action? It's not there, so we have to double check. Or condition. Condition, dynamic data. Okay, here is the error. I do this all the time. If you want to have the value from the select field, you have to type column value. Okay, now it should work in the front end also, and here is our CTA, but without some data. Let's go to the image and remove this and use the call to action image. That's working. Okay, I just want to save, go back to the field group and add the fields that are not there. So this should be CTA. I will rename this to headline and add another field as an text area. Move it below the headline. Call to action text, whatever. Save. Go back to the builder, reload. So the builder knows about our new fields. Go to the CTA inside our container. Now that's the wrong. We have to call to action headline. Make this an H2. This is wrong also maybe. So call to action text. That's it. The button is done. Let's check. Okay, image is there, but there is no content here. Why is that? Let's take a look to the code. If it's a CSS problem. Images here. CTA content is below the image. Okay. Okay. Let's position relative. No, that's not the right thing. Oh, okay. The div wrapper for our loop is not 100% width, I think. Because we used a div instead of a block, I go back to the builder now, and the problem is we have added a div as a loop wrapper here, and div does not use 100% of the width. So a simple fix for our problem here is just to go to layout and add 100% width to our wrapper, which is our loop wrapper, and now it should work as expected. Let's double check in the front end now, and now our CTA is working. You will not miss by now that's working, but I think the new field have to have an call to action text. Let's add a little bit. Okay. Now let's view the page. That's working. Our link is working. The image is working. That's working also. Okay. So maybe you want to add the CTA in the middle of the two other blocks or sections. Now let's check if this is working. And it's working. Yeah, that's it. I hope I've not talked too much and it's understandable and you can follow the steps. If you have any questions, please add a comment to the video and I try to answer it quickly. So that's it for today. Thank you for your attention.